Am I the a-hole for telling my mom I am successful despite her, not thanks to her parenting? For context, I, 31 male, have a brother, Paul, 33 male, who is a screw-up. He's a felon, breaking into people's homes to steal valuables. And in general, Paul has no work ethic, no drive to improve, no moral compass. He's rude, cruel, and uneducated. I, on the other hand, have a PhD from my country's top university. And I started my own company, which is now employing 5 people full-time plus myself and my significant other. Our lives, our mother, Mary, 63 years old, favored Paul strongly. The greasy wheels get the grease principle. I could bring home perfect grades, and Paul all failing grades besides one barely passing grade, and Mom would fall over herself congratulating Paul and buying him a new iPod, while my grades barely get me a nod of acknowledgement. I worked jobs after school ended summer, only for my salaries to be stolen by Paul to buy weed, and Mom always gave him a pass. Our mother is a very warm woman, and I can tell that she wanted to celebrate even the tiniest achievement of Paul's to encourage him, and she didn't have the heart to punish/discipline either me or my brother. But in the end, it screwed over both Paul and me. Paul was taught that Mom will always bail him out, and that stealing is consequence-free, until the actual police was involved and not just our mom. I have been slowly unraveling with my therapist all the ways in which being essentially wallpaper my whole childhood led me to having attachment issues, intense anxiety, abysmally low self-worth, and an unhealthy habit to both bury myself in work and always feel like a failure no matter how much I accomplish. Then Mom called me today to invite me to a big party to celebrate Paul getting a job. It's unskilled, in retail. By now, I fully expect Paul to be fired, or just decide to stop showing up less than 1 week in. I told Mom no, because we live in different cities and it's not worth celebrating that mediocrity. It led to a heated conversation, and eventually her telling me that I need to give back because I'm prosperous. I shot back that I work to earn all I have, and with a mother like her, it was an uphill battle. She told me she always supported me, and I told her what I typed above, and hung up angry. She texted me, "I'm sorry you feel that way and that I'm still welcome to Paul's party." I've been pacing and restless. Was I an a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. It sounds like you reached your limit, and you're trying to set better boundaries for your own mental well-being. Definitely discuss with your therapist how you're feeling about what you said. Maybe they can give you a suggestion of how to address your mother in the future. I will. Therapy's Friday and it's gonna bother me until then, but I will absolutely address it with my therapist. If you haven't already, I suggest emailing your therapist what happened ahead of time, so they know what you want to address at a session, and or writing out what happened. It can help you relieve feelings and make sure you remember what you wanted to bring up. Hope the session goes well and helps you. Not stay home. "I'm sorry you feel that way" is a BS answer. You feel that way because of her neglect. And you're right. Celebrating him getting a retail job that you believe he'll lose in a short time is meaningless. If anything, further contact with either your mother or Paul will encourage them to start asking for things. She's going to expect you to allow your brother to bleed you dry just like she did. I think you're better off cutting both these people entirely loose. Not stay home. Your standards are higher and it would benefit you to stay away and visit Mom and the family on a different day when they aren't celebrating Paul. It'll put you in a bad mood while that's going on. I've been quietly trying to avoid seeing Mom when Paul is around, but it's hard because he still lives under her roof, and the distance means that each travel to see Mom is a tall affair lasting days. I rarely see her these days, and the pandemic just worsened what was already happening. Next story is titled, "Am I the a-hole for telling my 24 male twin sister 24 female that she no longer has a brother?" So I had a fiancé 24 female and I just knew she was the woman I'd spend my life with. She was great in every way. Her and my sister clicked greatly and they became best friends, which was huge for me because my sister and I were best friends as well. So I'd go on double dates with her and her now husband. I found out my fiancé was cheating on me and blew up on her. She cried and said the usual stuff, but I was destroyed and called off our engagement and broke up with her. She ended up getting in a relationship with her affair partner, which stands to this day. Afterwards, before I blocked my ex and everything as I simply forgot, I saw her post on Facebook a picture of her new boyfriend happily hanging out with my sister and her then fiancé. I got angry at my sister and told her I thought it was wrong for her to do that. I know that she's a grown woman, but I thought that she would be mad at her too, especially since we are so close. We are twins. She tried to explain to me that she loves me more than anyone, but that she cherishes her friendship with my ex and didn't want to let either of us go. I ignored her after that and she called me. We went back and forth, her trying to plead with me and me angrily refusing to see her point of view. I then told her, have fun with your new friendship. Don't contact me again. I'm done with you. And then blocked her and my ex and everything. Since then, I moved from our old apartment and have gotten a new one and changed my number. My father and a few trusted friends have this info and have been instructed not to give it to my sister. My father had been telling me that my sister had been distraught and wanting to talk to me, but I was pretty adamant that I didn't want to. He obliged. Then she called me on a new number and told me she was getting married and that she would love for me to be there. I was ecstatic at first, but then I remembered my ex had asked if she and her new boyfriend would be there, to which she replied that she was going to be a bridesmaid and that the boyfriend would be there. I then told her that as of now, we are both only children. A little harsh, but I was angry. I hung up the phone and blocked the number. They are married now, but my dad tells me that she is visibly distressed and that he's afraid it will take a toll on her marriage. I don't want this to happen, but I am in no way over any of this. I still feel betrayed twice. I don't really want to see her at all. My biggest thing is that when she was cheated on by her college boyfriend, who I became friends with, I scolded him and comforted her. But when I get heartbroken by my fiancé and soon-to-be wife, she feels like it's okay to mingle with her and the guy who helped break us up. It's as if I don't matter. Although I love her to death, I feel a lot of hatred towards her right now. So, am I the a-hole for telling her that we are only children from now on and completely shutting her out of my life? Look, while it's true that you do not control her and who she's friends with, you control yourself and your actions. You asked her to give up her friendship with someone who betrayed you. She refused. You decided that you didn't want her in your life anymore. The condition you've laid for her to be in your life is that she give up your ex. She doesn't want to. Clearly, she values that relationship than her relationship with you. Either that or she's expecting you to come around to her way of thinking. As long as you stick to your guns and don't go around harassing your sister or ex, I think you're not an a-hole. She's allowed to make her choices, but then so are you. I feel like that's what it comes down to. Sister had to make a choice and doesn't want to live with the consequences. Also, don't be swayed by your father's report about your sister being visibly distressed and is worried that it will have repercussions for her marriage. Anything that happens will be a direct result of her own decisions to value her friendship with your ex-fiancé over you. You certainly do not owe anything to her, much less your forgiveness in order to save her marriage or your relationship to each other. She made her own bed, and she can lie in it. Sister didn't want to let either of us go. And when she had to pick, she didn't pick you. But she wants to make amends? How would that work? She just wants to have her cake and eat it too. Not stay home. Also, your dad said that she's visibly distressed and that he's afraid it will take a toll on her marriage. How so? Unless she cheats on her significant other like her BFF did to you. If I had to guess, the husband was an OP side about all this and the sister ignored him to get her way. Not an a-hole. The amount of people who truly think OP is an a-hole is astonishing. Dude's life gets nuked, and you all are like, get over it. She can gloss over his heartbreak, but when he does it, he's in the wrong? So much for empathy. So many fakers out here. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to go on a vacation with my family due to my bratty nieces also being invited? The people invited on a vacation. My parents, 48 female/52 male. My pregnant sister, 25 female, her husband, 29 male, and their daughter, 6 female/4 female. Myself, 23 male. My sister, 21 female. My parents planned a family vacation for us from December 26 to January 1. They rented a cottage upstate with enough room for all of us. I don't want to go if my nieces will be there. I know I sound like a horrible uncle, but there's a reason for it. My sister/brother-in-law are earth parent types. My nieces were born at home with only sister, brother-in-law, and a midwife, who doesn't have any medical background or credentials present. They literally let my nieces do whatever they want. For meals, my nieces are allowed to choose what they eat. So if they want ice cream or cookies, that's what they get. My sister/brother-in-law won't make them eat anything they don't want to. They aren't sending my nieces to school. I thought they meant homeschooling, but they are letting my nieces decide if and when they want to learn something. My sister calls it unschool. Neither can count past 10. They don't always get the letters of the alphabet right, and neither can write their own name. They're more interested in the tablet or watching stuff online. I don't even know how this is legal, but I looked it up and it's here. My nieces choose their own bedtime, so they can stay up all night. They sleep with my sister/brother-in-law and can't sleep without their parents there, so all their sleep schedules are messed up. They can't stand to be away from sister to the point they follow her to the bathroom. My sister can't even go to the store without them or there's a tantrum. They are glued to her. My brother-in-law can get away with a few hours. One time we went skating, and it was just cold enough to be slightly uncomfortable. My niece didn't want to wear a coat, and my sister/brother-in-law didn't make her. They said she would experience the natural consequences of her actions, but she was 3 at the time. They've never been to a doctor. One of them purposely broke a neighbor's window, and my sister/brother-in-law don't do forced apologies, so niece didn't have to apologize to the neighbor. One of my nieces threw a tantrum because I wouldn't give her my coffee. My sister/brother-in-law made more and gave it to her and said they can have whatever they want. I should have given her mine. It's hard enough for a few hours. I can't take a week in an isolated cottage with a single satellite TV, no internet, no cell phone reception. The cottage has a landline phone, and cold weather with only one vehicle for all of us. If my nieces weren't going, I would love something like this though. My work always closes between Christmas and New Year's, so I can't say I'm working. At Thanksgiving, I told my parents I have no plans before they ask. I declined without saying why, and upset was an understatement at my parents' reaction. They are pressuring me to go because everyone else said yes. Does it make me the a-hole for declining? They're not happy. Now for the comments. Not only should you not go, you should tell them exactly why. Leaving that part out is the mistake. Tell them, stay home, have a nice vacation, the end. Not stay home. Let them experience the natural consequences of their actions. Yeah, they're setting their kids up for failure. Shaking my head. Not stay home. Dude, imagine not sending your kids to school and then also not teaching them skills and raising them to be addicted to their phones at a young age. I feel so bad for these kids. Info, why were your parents so upset? Do they think that the girl's behavior is okay, or do they simply want every one of you to be miserable together? My parents don't seem to be bothered by my nieces at all. They're upset because they wanted this to be family time together. If my nieces weren't there, I would love something like this. I think they're hurt because I'm the only one who declined and my work is closed. And they know I don't have prior plans, so there's no reason in their minds. Not stay home. That sounds like a terrible situation to be stuck in. That also sounds like child mistreatment. Those kids deserve medical care and proper schooling, and they are being set up for failure when they enter adult society. I literally can't believe the people who do this to their children. In my opinion, it is extremely abusive. Denying children any stability at all is a truly terrible thing to do. These are not going to be healthy or capable adults in any way, even before the fact that they literally have no education or social skills. I seriously hope state governments step in and make this illegal and start cracking down and checking records. I'm not opposed to properly done homeschool, but it seems like most people now aren't doing it correctly at all. They just stick their kids in front of a screen for 2 hours a day and leave it at that. I don't understand how you can do that to a human. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for not carrying on a tradition my family started with my step-family? My mom died 8 years ago. She had me, 17 female, my sisters 14 female, 12 female, and my brothers 13 male, 11 male, with my dad. Dad is remarried. His wife has 2 kids of her own, 10 female and 9 female, and together they have 2, 3 male and 1 female. When I was born, Mom bought me a necklace. Not a super fancy one, but something that could be customized and added to, and she added each of my siblings. And when they were born, they got them too, with all our names on them. We all have them. We all wear them. It's something special for us. A few months ago, my sisters noticed my baby brother's necklace and asked him about it. He explained it was a necklace our mom gave each of us and was a tradition we had as siblings. This brought up questions about why they and our half-siblings were never included. My dad asked me about it when he remarried, and I told him it was something I wanted to continue with the steps. He left it there. His wife did bring it up several more times, and ultimately was unhappy that I didn't want to keep it alive. Because I was always my mom's helper with them for my siblings, it was seen as changing the tradition if I didn't want to be part of it. My dad and his wife ended up getting a different thing to symbolize the blended family. But the question ultimately came back to the tradition started by my mom. My dad asked me the other day why I didn't want to continue the tradition with a step family. I told him it didn't feel right to me to continue my mom's tradition with people who are not my mom's family. He asked if that was the only reason. I admitted to him that I love my siblings more, and if I'm honest, I'm not sure love comes into the relationship I have with the steps or halves. That I don't feel very strong emotions for my step or half siblings, and I see even our future adult relationships differently. He told me he was glad I was honest. Yesterday, his wife cornered me and told me her girls are still upset we didn't keep the tradition, that they feel unaccepted, and like they're not true siblings and we're not a true family because I didn't want to do it for them. She then said my influence has my siblings feeling the five of us are more bonded to each other than with the steps and halves. She said not wanting to continue it shows that I'm okay with hurting people, and that it makes me a very cruel person. Am I the a-hole? You are not the a-hole. The necklace was a tradition with your mom, and your stepmom is never going to replace or take over the place in your heart where your love for your mom is. She has no right to try and manipulate you like this. Keep talking to your dad about how you were feeling as you navigate the situation. And I would tell stepmom that as an adult, her trying to bully 5 children who lost their mother and just want to keep her memory alive makes her a very cruel person. And a selfish a-hole. Not the a-hole. The tradition your mother started was for her children. Your stepmother's children are in no way related to your mother. Ignore her. Your decision honors your mother and is not cruel. Not the a-hole. Tell her that she's being hurtful and cruel to you. Do not let her guilt you. She's supposed to be the adult in the family, not the pouty kid who wants everything. Do speak with your dad and let him know what your stepmom is doing and how uncomfortable you feel about her.
Update: divorcing my husband for asking to be polyamorous. Original post: this is really upsetting to me on all accounts, and I'm getting mixed opinions from the few real-life people I've talked to about it, so I could use the advice of total strangers. I, 26 female, and my husband, 27 male, have been married for just over a year and together for 4. We spent a long time before getting married, talking about what we wanted out of being married, so I thought we were on the same page about all the important things. I do love him very much. He is sweet, helpful, and generally my dream partner until last week. Out of the blue, he sat down one night and said he wanted to talk about something. I thought it was just something minor he was frustrated about, or a bad day at work or something. Instead, he talked about how he found out that his best guy friend and his wife are polyamorous. He and his friend have been talking about it more, and he thinks he might like to try it, and wondered what I thought. I felt instantly sick to my stomach. We've always had a great sex life, and he's never given me any reason to think he was interested in anyone else. I told him that I'm not interested in being in a polyamorous relationship. I want to be monogamous with him for the rest of my life. If it had stopped there, I don't think it would have gotten so bad, but then he asked if I would read about it and then decide. I said no, I already know how I feel about it. He asked if I would at least think about it, and for some reason, that just did something to me. Like instant revulsion kind of upset. I got up and told him that I was too upset to keep talking and that I needed some space, so I would sleep in the guest room that night and we could talk later. Ever since that night, I've had the biggest ick anytime I see him. He keeps trying to backtrack, but I know he meant what he said about wanting to be polyamorous. It's not so much that he brought it up, it's the 2 other asks after I already said I would never be comfortable with it. It's like that didn't matter to him. He thought he could convince me, and it makes me feel awful. What else is he going to pressure me about if I say no? And if he already wants to sleep with someone else, how can I ever trust him not to do it behind my back? I'm still sleeping in the guest room, and I'm thinking of just asking for a divorce now, when it would be simpler to divide everything up and go our separate ways, instead of waiting until years down the line when I get my heart broken. He could go do whatever he wants, and I could find someone who just wants a good, solid, monogamous relationship with me. The idea is killing me, but I feel like it's going to hurt now no matter what I do. While I do still love him, I don't think I can ever unhear and unsee my husband asking me for an open relationship, and the idea of him touching me makes me feel ill. He's upset and frustrated that I'm punishing him for asking a question, but I honestly don't know what he expected to happen. There is a part of me that thinks maybe divorcing him is being over-dramatic, but also, the ick is so strong that I don't have much hope of getting back to where we were. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments before reading the updates. Not the a-hole. I don't think it's over-dramatic to get out of a contract you signed with another person when they are trying to change the terms a year into it. That's a powerful way to say it, and it takes the emotional side out of the picture enough to realize it makes perfect sense. That, and the fact that if your husband gives you the ick, it's obviously over, plain as day. This will upset someone, but a man who will share you sexually doesn't love you. Odds are he's banking on her not being poly, but accepting him having a side piece. He knows that I do not have sex outside of committed loving relationships. I waited a while until we had sex, and he was my first. Even if I was okay with polyamory, I would never pursue it personally because that's not how I'm built. The thought of having multiple partners at once is just off-putting. I'm pretty sure that is part of his calculus here, thinking that I'll never pursue it, so he'll have all the benefit and none of the difficulty. Why do people jump to divorce as the only move? Why not seek therapy first? I don't think therapy is going to get rid of the ick I feel. Like, I would try it if he was willing, but I think maybe the horse has already left the barn on this one. I don't think there's anything he or a therapist could say that would take away the absolute disgust I feel for him right now. This marriage is over and you need to get out. And I definitely would not have unprotected sex with this man because he's likely already cheating. I don't think that will be a problem right now. I don't even want to be touched, but I probably will take some advice from the thread and get an STI test to be on the safe side. Edit/mini updates. Gosh, this got a lot of replies. I'm reading through them as best I can. I'm going to take the advice to get an STI test, and my gyno is going to work me in today for that. I don't think he would physically cheat, but better safe than sorry. I do think there is probably someone he's interested in, possibly his friend's wife, or maybe even his friend. He's never expressed being bisexual, but that doesn't mean he isn't. I don't know them very well, so I can't speculate on their role in all of this. I'm going to be charitable and assume there are no machinations from their end, and he just picked this up from his friend and ran with it. I want to be clear that I am not ignoring him. We can talk about whatever else is going on, but I'm not ready to continue this conversation with him, and he knows that. I want to be calm for that, and his behavior is not really conducive to a sense of calm right now. Every time he brings it up, makes me a little more disgusted with him, but he seems intent on digging the hole instead of letting things settle. That, and not taking the first no for an answer, is a bigger issue than the poly ask for me. I think I'm going to meet with a lawyer just to go over options. At this point, I don't have a lot of faith in counseling changing how I feel about him now, but I would be willing to try a few sessions to say we gave it a shot. I'll throw that out there tonight and see what he says. Edit 2. He doesn't think counseling is necessary. He just wants to go back to the way things were before bringing it up. I've told him that's not an option. You can't unbreak a bone. It has to heal instead. I asked him if he had someone in mind and he said no, but he's not a very good liar and I don't really believe him. He says it was just an idea and there's no one and nothing has happened, but he also doesn't want to show me the messages between him and his friend so I can understand the content of the conversation they had. I will respect his choice, but it's enough to convince me that there's something he's hiding, even if it's not an affair in progress, and that's a problem. I've got an appointment with a lawyer in a few days. I'm going to wait until after that to make a decision, and I'm going to take a short trip alone to see my grandparents this weekend to get some fresh air and perspective. I'll try to update next week after all the test results come back and I've had a chance to look at all the facts with a professional. Thank you for the kind support and advice. Now for the full update. I took advice from the thread and got an STI panel done. Fortunately, it came back clear. I suggested counseling, but my husband does not think it's necessary. I doubt it will change my feelings, so I'm not going to push for it. He is being overly protective of his phone after I asked to see a message conversation between him and his poly friend to understand the context of the situation. I would not violate his privacy, but there clearly is something he doesn't want me to see, and that's enough. It doesn't matter to me anymore whether there is something already in progress or just the desire for there to be. The shadiness of his behavior tells me what I need to know. I've been tempted to contact his friends directly to get their take, but in the event there is infidelity happening, I would rather not burden myself with the details, to be honest. I had a heart-to-heart with my grandparents this weekend and spoke with a lawyer yesterday. As of right now, I'm planning to move forward with the divorce. With no kids and no joint property or debt, since we were waiting to buy a house until I'm finished with residency, it should be easy to split the financials. The lease on our apartment is up in a couple of months anyway, so I plan to move out after breaking the news and just pay my portion of the rent on the current place until it's renewal time. I'm heartbroken, but I'm convinced that this is the best move. I don't trust him anymore. I'm repulsed by his behavior since the ask, and I think it's best to cut our losses before digging the hole deeper. If he were willing to be transparent and do something to work on re-establishing trust, it would be different, but that's not the case. And I don't want to put in effort that he's not interested in putting in. I will be fine with time. So yeah, not a happy ending, but I think it's in my best overall interest. And if he's not happy with monogamy a year into marriage, his best interest as well. Hopefully, we can part ways quietly and without a lot of fuss. Residency? I didn't read the original post, but if you are going to be a doctor or whatever advanced professional, well, drop his butt as fast as you can. I'm sure your lawyer told you, but do it before you sign a contract for your future salary. What a piece of turd. Sorry you're going through this. My lawyer said the exact same thing. He's working on preparing to file now, so hopefully a month from now I'll be moved out, X will have been served, and most of the rest can be handled through the lawyers. I guess one bright side of this is that I can move closer to work now, so I can get a little more sleep between shifts instead of commuting. You don't think this is a happy ending right now, but future you is gonna be so glad you left. Oh, peace now. X has no idea the amount of work and effort you have to put into being polyamorous. Never mind the amount of communication that has to happen. He doesn't actually want to be polyamorous. He just wants to sleep with other people. Joke will be on him, because he severely overestimated his market value. The internet seems to have a lot of dudes convinced they can have something that's basically polygamy. Lol, good luck with that. Man, I would love to hear his response to knowing he set fire to his whole life. Bet he's willing to go to counseling once divorce is on the table. That's what my soon-to-be ex-husband did, and he was shocked to learn that the window for it had passed. And what do you mean I can't just go back and undo that massive mistake I made? That's the new favorite fad, immediately scheduling therapy or counseling when the partner walks or when they get caught cheating. Personally, that would be insult to injury to me, and all the more reason to dump them. Someone running to therapy because they realize you're walking is being disingenuous. They're just fumbling for a delay. The time to do it honestly was before the fallout happened. Last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my wife she makes traveling no fun? So my wife, 38 female, and I, 36 male, have been together for 8 years. We live in my home state of Arkansas. She is from San Diego. Every year she wants to visit home. We used to fly, but since we have a kid, 2 female, she now wants to drive. I have no problem using all my vacation days for this. She lives here. Traveling is a pain because she overpacks. She used to fill my CX-7 full, but work gave me a $900 car allowance, and we used that to get a full-size Suburban. This time, she loaded that full. I mean front passenger seat to the ceiling so I can't see the mirrors full. We didn't use hardly any of it. At every stop, I carried everything into the hotel because she was afraid it would get stolen. It's a 3-day drive each way. Got through it. I told her she makes traveling miserable because she's also super late. Tell her 10 a.m. and she might arrive by noon. So every day we don't leave the hotel until 12, then she insists we drive until midnight. Ugh, unfun. Anyway, this weekend I was sent on a work conference. They got me a sweet hotel room, a week at a nice resort. I was super excited. We were going to go and leave the baby. The day before, she cancels my mom watching her so she can bring our child, fills the Suburban full again. Mind you, it's my work trip. 5 days, 5 nights. Most of the stuff was just overpacking. She brought a tote of blankets, 1 of towels, 2 of her clothes, totes. I told her she makes it miserable. The hotel always gets cluttered and full. The night before we leave is always a mess trying to pack and her organizing stuff she brought that never gets used. She freaked out, told me I just want to go hook up and cheat at these things. I invited her, and now she's filing for divorce because I told her, "You're overpacking and insisting we fill every vehicle full and always being late makes me miserable." We were 3 hours late leaving for the conference, so I missed the networking opening night, which in my industry is where people tend to click up. I missed going to the best vendor events, etc. because she insisted I not leave since she was overwhelmed with how messy the hotel room was. Mind you, it was all the stuff she brought, took out of totes and never used, and then the toddler destroyed it. Am I the a-hole? Edit. 1. Yes, I am involved in raising our child. I actually packed for our trip. I had 1 bag for the baby to go to my mom's. Toys, diapers, food, etc. A big bag, but 1 large suitcase. I had a bag packed for my wife and 1 for me. 2. Yes, she has ADHD. 3. She always says she doesn't want to do this. Then the trip comes and she does it. 4. I am not a cheater. She accused me of it last time I went solo. I am exhausted. If she left me, I think I would be done with relationships. My own mental health is wrecked. 5. My boss wasn't mad. He found the whole thing hilarious when I told him. He skipped half of the conference himself. My job wasn't threatened, but to me, it felt like it. 6. I tried the whole packing thing for her and me. I have tried to just accept her issues, but it's gotten worse. When we first got together, she needed a large checked bag for a 2-day trip to Las Vegas. Now she needs an entire Suburban for a week-long trip. 7. One of the issues is the vehicle is so full. If it were just the back, I might be able to deal. But it's so full I can't even see the side mirror. I've expressed how unsafe that is, and she doesn't care. Just yells that I don't understand. 8. Yes, she comes from a hoarder background. Now for the comments. I had to go back and double-check wife's age, because I was certain we were dealing with a late-teen mom or early 20s lady who was just incredibly immature. This woman is 38? What a dumpster fire. How is she functioning in the rest of her life in general? Obviously not the a-hole OP. She is a teacher. She stays at home right now, thanks to landing an incredible job, but she had a teaching job. Never had issues making it to work that I know of. Does she always threaten divorce so casually? Next time, tell her, "Sure, I'll call the lawyer tomorrow and start that up," and see her face drop at calling her stupid bluff. She sounds really annoying to travel with. And why did you invite her, especially after she canceled childcare? Since you canceled childcare with my mom, you can't come on this trip. If she leaves you because you go on a work trip, your marriage is at the end already. She's doing this on purpose to sabotage your career. Hey man, could you try doing a short trip with her? Telling her that the whole point is that you will take care of everything and she only needs to bring a change of clothes? Take her to spa or resort inn where everything you need will already be there. I think sometimes people have travel anxiety and have never attempted to go light because they're scared they might need something. Do an overnighter first, then start going for more nights away. It might just be that your wife has never tried traveling this way. We did that a few years ago, right before the kid arrived. Told her some friends were coming to visit. In fact, they were coming to house sit. I had her bag packed and away we went. She even commented at the time she loved how freeing it was to only have 1 bag. Now for her to go anywhere she needs 4 bags, backpack, diaper bag, purse, and another large bag filled with spare food, extra meds, etc. I didn't realize until today she needs mental health help.